art of advancement, there is an art to advancing no matter what job and what stage of your job you're at. And the art of advancing is the ability to look at the situation and see all of the things that you can benefit from it, even though it might not seem like a positive situation. In other words, the way you benefit the most is to learn to be a person who looks at the glass half full rather than half empty. And what you do, every work situation has negative things with it. People you don't like, work obligations that you don't like. There's always garbage that goes with any job, even the best in the world, that you have to contend with and deal with. But the person who's smart, they acknowledge all those things, but then they say, well, what are the benefits of this job, and how can I maximize my time in this place? And the road, no matter what you do for a living, traveling, there's a lot of idle time, and there's a lot of could be wasted time if you don't use it properly. And being a musician on the road is no different. In my own life, I've found everything positive about any gig that I was on, even though there was plenty of negative. One of those things was looking around you and seeing all the people that you work with and all the knowledge that sits around you that you could be gleaning from people by just simply asking people questions. When you're on the road, for instance, you may be traveling with anywhere from 25 people to 100 people, depending on the size of the tour. All those people are smart. They all have knowledge in different areas that you don't. So if you spend time learning things from other people, it's like a free college education. The other thing is you have a lot of downtime when you're traveling. On planes, I'm always working, writing on my books. This book has been written a lot while I traveled. There's so many opportunities to advance. There are many people that started off on the road that later became, for instance, a few members of the Eagles used to play for Linda Ronstadt as backup musicians, and they collaborated and began to write songs. Sometimes the musicians end up becoming producers for the artists that they work for if they have a production talent. There's so many ways to advance yourself if you apply yourself. But for me, the road has been a great place because with that downtime, I'm either working out in the gym, on my downtime, writing books, planning and strategizing future things, advancing future visions and goals, because you have more time than when you're at home. When you're at home, there's more things vying for your time in your personal life and your family life, things that you can't do when you're on the road. When you're on the road, there's plenty of downtime, but you have to have a project to work on. I've known people that have learned completely other skills while they were on the road, training for other jobs entirely, and using that downtime to study, to read, to learn a new skill, to get into a new hobby. And rather than that time just being squandered and wasted, I'm a very big proponent of use every bit of the extra time to learn something, and that's how you advance. You take that opportunity that most people would love to have extra time. What are we all short on? Time. So if you use that time wisely, I wrote books while I was on the road, and when I was done with the tour, the book was done. And then I was able to advance as an educator, as a teacher, as a speaker, as an author, and those all came from utilizing time that others would waste. Benjamin Franklin had a great quote that said, "The U.S. Constitution doesn't guarantee happiness, only the pursuit of it. You have to catch up with it yourself." Very true, because I think a lot of people in life, they think that, they're being placed in their position is what's going to make them happy. Now, there's no guarantee. You're the one that makes yourself happy based on what you do with what you have, with where you are, like Theodore Roosevelt said. So the happiness is you spending your life doing the right things. You've got to pursue that. So sometimes people that travel a lot, they spend a lot of time drinking, they spend a lot of time partying, they spend a lot of time being miserable. They're not pursuing the happiness. They're creating the misery themselves. So they have to do some soul searching and digging and go, why am I miserable? And when you find that answer, you can then do something about it and go, you know what? I have more time than most people. That's a dream for most people, to have extra time in life. So let's not squander it. Let's do something positive with that time. Let's achieve more things. Let's write more songs. Let's develop some other parts of our personality or skills that we don't have, because time is our most valuable asset. And one of the things about time, from the second you're born, it's ticking. It's going away. You never get any of it back. So Don't squander or waste your time, but you got to pursue the happiness yourself. Nobody's going to guarantee that for you.